Episode 5. When Night Falls. The hot sun shone down on the dirt, far out in the African bush. Everything seemed peaceful, just for a moment. Two vultures were pacing on the ground, looking for food. Suddenly the ground began to shake, almost like an earthquake. Disturbed, the vultures flew up to a tree for safety. The ground shook harder, accompanied with a large rumbling sound that grew increasingly. When out of the trees, a large herd of rhinos ran. A stampede crashing through anything in its way, leaving a trail of dust and carnage in its path. They weren't stopping nor slowing down. In the middle of the stampede, a jeep from Kruger Valley sped through, being careful to not hit the rhinos. It was chaos. Gideon drove amidst the herd. Next to him was Maddie.
I am not so sure this was a good idea.
I think you could be right.
Maddie shouted out the open window.
Sam, how are you doing up there?
Sam was thrown about in the back of the jeep. He held on for dear life so he wouldn't be thrown over the side and into the stampede.
Just fine.
A rhino banged into the side of the jeep. Gideon almost lost control, and Sam was thrown about again.
Ah!
I'm going to go and help him. Keep it steady.
Maddie climbed into the back of the jeep and opened the door.
Maddie, what are you doing?
A rhino ran close to the door. Maddie jumped back into the jeep. Gideon noticed the rhino and saw the open door. He put his foot down so the rhino wouldn't be able to take the door off its hinges. Maddie leaned outside again. This time, Sam noticed her.
What are you doing?
Help me up.
You're crazy!
Sam leaped forward as Maddie climbed out of the jeep. Sam helped her onto the back. The jeep hit a rough bit of terrain, and both Sam and Maddie hit the floor. They grabbed hold of the sides to stable them, and they stood up.
Let's do this!
Sam lifted a long pole object with a point at the end. To avoid hitting a rhino, Gideon swerved hard. Sam and Maddie fell back, helping each other stable.
Come on!
A rhino ran aside the truck.
Here goes!
Sam jabbed the pole into the rhino's side. It barely felt a thing. Maddie grabbed Sam and pulled him back so he wouldn't fall. They landed back in the jeep.
I got it!
He led the pole gently down beside him. They stood up looking forward. The stampede was headed towards a steep hill. Gideon couldn't see through the dust and the rhinos around him.
Oh, Jesus!
Sam and Maddie banged on the roof of the jeep.
Stop! Stop!
Gideon, stop!
Stop!
Gideon could only just hear them and slammed on the brakes. They screeched to a stop. Sam and Maddie held onto the sides for dear life. The jeep stopped just before the hill. The remaining rhinos in the herd ran past them and down into the dip. They all sat for a moment in silence, processing the craziness of the last few moments and realizing how lucky they are not to have been hurt, or worse.
We were nearly just down there.
Gideon got out of the jeep and Sam and Maddie jumped down from the back.
You are two fearless, crazy people. Please tell me after all that you got a blood sample.
What'd you take us for? Of course we did.
Thank goodness. I wouldn't be able to cope if all of that was for nothing. That's what I'm talking about.
Woohoo!
In another part of the valley, Cass and Bill were driving through the bush. Cass noticed something on the ground by some trees.
What's that?
Let's take another look.
Bill took one of the rifles and stepped out of the jeep, followed by Cass. On the ground was a dead buffalo. It had no injuries that they could see.
Another dead animal.
Well, that's over 10 now. And the herbivores are certainly more defensive than normal.
How the hell did it die?
No injuries. Looks like this died only a few moments ago. Scavengers haven't picked at it yet.
I'll take a blood sample. Something's definitely not right.
I'll see if the others have had any luck.
Bill used his radio, while Cass collected a blood sample from the dead buffalo.
Come in. This is Bill. We found yet another dead animal. We're collecting a sample now.
Read you loud and clear, Bill. We managed to get a sample from one of the rhinos. We're bringing it back to Kruger Valley now.
I'm not even going to ask you how you managed that. Well, good work. We'll regroup back at the facility and discuss this further. Over and out.
Suddenly, out of the trees, without warning, a pack of lionesses surrounded Cass and Bill.
Oh, shit!
Bill aimed his rifle.
Stay calm. Don't move.
Jesus!
Keep an eye on the ones behind me.
2.
Cass stared the lioness deep in the eye, not letting her fright show. Suddenly, a large male lion walked out the bushes.
Bill, fire that bloody gun, will you?
Bill aimed the rifle at the ground, near the lions. He pulled the trigger.
Oh, hell.
You have got to be kidding me.
Why the hell isn't it loaded?
You tell me.
The lions were getting closer.
Stay calm.
Carl, are you having a laugh?
One ran towards them. Bill jumped in the way, protecting Cass. A jeep sped out of the bushes, crossing the lion's path. It circled back. The lion from behind ran at them.
Bill!
There was a loud gunshot that made everyone jump. The lions ran off. Cass and Bill looked back at the jeep. The door was open, and the hot sun shone behind, making it all hard for the eyes to adjust to who was standing there with the gun pointed in the air and smoke seeping out of the barrel. Dakota stepped down from the jeep. Bill and Cass could see their shaken reflection in her sunglasses.
Looks like you guys have had too much excitement for one day.
Dakota! What on earth are you doing out here on your own?
What your mother means, Dakota, is thank you. It's bloody good to see you.
Couldn't let you have all the fun.
Let's get back to the facility. Me and you need to have a chat too.
Great. I can't wait.
A little later, after returning to Kruger Valley, Cass and Simon were by the clinic. Sam joined them.
Hey.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for coming down. Simon was just having a look at the punctured tyre on the Jeep from the other night.
Oh, yeah?
Did you see anything that could have done it?
There was nothing around that I saw, but Dakota and I were on foot for a while, so something could have done it then.
It doesn't look like any animal, claw or tooth that I know. Not unless it was Freddy Krueger. The gash is too smooth. There's no tear damage. It was something sharp, straight, in and out.
Meaning?
Well, it looks like it was done with a knife. By a person.
Are you asking if I stabbed the tyre?
Did you?
No, why would I do that?
I believe you.
Thank you.
What about Dakota?
What?
Sam, I know what my daughter's like.
Sam looked away, thinking about what to say. He had his suspicions, but didn't have anything to go on.
Sam?
I don't know if she would do that, but it was as if she enjoyed being stranded out there. Just the two of us. She tried to kiss me. I found she had a radio in her bag that she said she forgot was there. And a pocket knife.
Right.
Cass stormed outside. Sam and Simon followed. Dakota was walking up to the house.
Dakota! I'm going to ask you something, and I want the truth. Did you, or did you not, slash the Jeep's tyres?
Is that what he said?
Sam hasn't accused you of anything. I just want to know what happened.
Why did you pretend to not have that radio?
Pretend? What the hell are you getting at, Sam?
You knew I had a picnic with Maddie that night.
Dakota had no response.
Yeah, okay, I did it. I stabbed that tyre. Now you know what happened. There's another reason for you to be disappointed in me.
What are you talking about?
Oh, come on, Mum. You couldn't be any more disappointed in me as a person for my choices. Just because I have no interest in becoming a vet at your precious facility.
Simon looked at Sam awkwardly.
Come on, Sam. Let's let them have it out.
Sam and Simon walked away.
I don't know where all of this has come from.
Because you've got blinkers on, Mum. Unless it concerns Kruger Valley, you just don't care. I'm sorry I'm not the daughter you've always wanted.
What are you talking about? I've never once thought of you as a disappointment for not wanting to work here, but I'm upset that you do what you've done. And for what? Because you're jealous? Because you want Sam to yourself? And what have you got against Maddie?
Maddie, Maddie, Maddie. It's all about Maddie. The daughter you've always wanted. A vet who loves her animals. You couldn't have said enough how she reminds you of yourself at that age. And I fall through the gaps again and again.
Dakota, I'm not trying to replace you. You're my daughter.
Only when it suits.
Dakota walked away angrily. Cass had no idea she felt that way. Dakota saw Colin and Simon, who were packing equipment into a Jeep.
Are you guys going out?
Hey, dude. Yeah, farmer with a leopard problem.
I'm coming. I need to get away from this place.
Are you sure? That's sounding dangerous, Dakota.
What's going to be dangerous is me and Mum in the same vicinity any longer.
Okay then. Big scary cat over big scary Cass it is.
They got into the Jeep and drove away. Cass, Bill, Gideon, Maddie, and Sam met in the lodge for their morning meeting, sat under the cool air conditioning.
All right, thanks for coming. Simon and Colin are busy, but we need to have a discussion. I've got an important mission for all of us. There are dead animals popping up all over the valley and increased agitated behaviours. We need to get out there and find out what's going on.
It's a worry. However, the water samples are clean.
I guess that's a good thing. Having a contaminated watering hole would be a whole new worry.
Agreed.
We have blood samples from both dead and alive animals. Hopefully they give us a clearer picture.
Yeah, the only thing we haven't got is stool samples.
I can go out and collect some. Maddie?
I'm in.
Good. Sam, can you come and check on the villager's cow with me, please?
Sure.
Right, let's not delay anything. This isn't going to be an easy task, so stay safe out there.
Nothing's ever easy around here. Let's do this.
Cass and Sam walked out of the lodge together, making their way to an enclosure where the cow was grazing.
Seems to be getting back to herself.
She's a strong girl, probably ready to go back. They'll be missing her.
Okay, so why don't you take her back? Be good for you to check in with Mama Zakata.
She won't love that.
Cass pretended not to hear Sam's remark.
I didn't mean to cause an argument with you and Dakota.
Oh, Sam, don't worry about it. Dakota and I have never seen eye to eye very well. She's got a few valuable life lessons to learn. The first being she can't always have it her own way. Anyway, I see no point in delaying. Go and get that cow back.
All right then.
A little later, Sam pulled up outside of Mama's house. She walked outside as Sam took the cow out of the transport trailer.
Here she is, right as rain.
Ah, she looks well.
She's made a great recovery. Just keep an eye on the wound, and if she stops eating, give us a call.
I will. You didn't have to bring her. I could have come and gotten her.
I'm happy to.
That's very good of you.
I also wanted to apologise again.
Listen, you have a lot to learn. I like you, Sam. You are a good man and you have a strong heart of kindness. I want to help you to understand what it means to be a part of our community.
I'd certainly like that.
So would I.
Mama gave Sam a warm smile. Later that morning, Colin, Simon, and Dakota drove down a dusty driveway to a farm. The farmer stood outside and waited for their arrival.
Hey, man.
Afternoon. Simon of Ogalu, that you?
Chigaru, how's it going, man? Here to see about that crazy leopard.
Crazy? It's a demon. Killed all my cows for sport, then came for me. I forgot I left the porch door on the back open. It got in and jumped into the kitchen. I managed to lock it in there, but it has completely trashed the place. Knocked down a cupboard closing the porch door, so that crazy cat is trapped inside.
Colin and Simon loaded their rifles with darts. Colin also had a pistol in a holster strapped to his leg, just in case.
Has it calmed down?
No, even worse. Since it's been trapped, it's got cuts all over its body where it tried to escape. I've never seen anything this aggressive. Spooky dooky.
We'll get it back to the facility and take a look over it.
I will pray for you.
Colin, Simon, and Dakota walked around to the back of the farm. Shigaru walked behind them terrified. There was a large porch attached to the house. They could see through the windows how trashed the place was, but no sign of the leopard. Simon noticed the door was stuck ajar, with a fallen cabinet preventing the door from opening any more.
The silly bugger's trapped himself in.
Colin looked through the window.
Wow!
When the leopard leaped, jumped, and scratched at it, it hissed and clawed at him. He jumped and stepped back.
I wish I got that on camera.
That is not a happy kitty.
The leopard ran to the door and tried to open it. It reached its leg out, trying to claw at Simon, before running back into the kitchen. Colin and Simon looked at each other. It was a worse scenario than they had imagined.
Come on then, boys. How are you going to catch this thing?
Yeah. I'll let the old man answer that one.
Quiet, boy. Do your windows open from the outside?
Unfortunately not.
Damn. I'm gonna check the kitchen door. See if there's any way we can get a shot.
I'll try through the door crack.
Simon walked away. Dakota took pictures through the window. Colin looked through the crack in the porch door, but the leopard was pacing in the kitchen and jumping up on counters. It noticed Colin. It ran at him. He jumped back. Dakota started filming the ordeal.
Colin, explain to the viewers what you're trying to do here.
We're on a farm. The owner called Kruger Valley for help, as a leopard has trapped herself in his home. She's not a happy girl. She's stressed. She feels trapped and threatened, so she's reacting the only way she knows how, and that is to defend herself. Me and the bushman need to dart her and bring her back to the facility. She's got cuts all over her body where she's been trying to find a way out. Finding a shot is harder than we thought.
The leopard jumped at the window again. Meanwhile, Simon was in the house. Looking at the closed door to the kitchen, he used his radio.
Boy, the kitchen is a no-go. If we open this door, she's gonna bolt straight out and we can't risk that.
Sure we can. I'm just gonna hide behind your stomachs. Alright, man. I'm gonna check the place out and see what we can try and do here.
You little shit. I'll throw you in here head first.
Colin laughed and walked away. Inside the porch, the leopard dragged the mat with her mouth. This slid the cabinet away a few inches, and the door opened some more. Colin walked into the garage. He saw a quad bike and raised his eyebrow.
Dude!
Dakota was uploading pictures to her account, walking away from the house when the leopard squeezed out of the gap. Dakota was unaware as it ducked into a hunting stance. Shigaru walked back around the side of the farm and saw the leopard behind Dakota.
Hey, look out!
Dakota turned around and spotted the leopard looking right at her.
Oh, shit.
The leopard ran towards her. She froze in sheer fright. A dart flew into the leopard's side. She jumped and ran off. Colin stood with the rifle aimed. Simon ran into the scene. Dakota let out a breath in shock.
We can't lose her. Come on.
Dakota, are you okay?
I'm fine. Go get her.
Use this.
Shigaru threw Colin the keys to the quad bike.
Oh, now we're talking!
Moments later, Colin was speeding after the leopard on the quad bike, with the dart still in her side. She sprinted through the grassland. Simon, Dakota, Shigaru were in the jeep, speeding down the road after them. The leopard jumped a fence into the cow's pen. There was a mud heap. Colin steered towards it. The quad cleared the fence in the air.
Whoa! That's what I'm talking about!
Colin followed the sprinting leopard. It then jumped the fence, and at the end, but there was nowhere for Colin to follow. He braked hard. The leopard ran onto the track, and Simon floored the pedal, speeding after it. They chased the leopard up the track, but it darted into the bush.
We can't go in there.
Colin sped past on the quad bike and darted into the bush after it. He followed the leopard until it dropped to the ground unconscious, succumbing to the effects of the sleeping dart. Moments later, after getting the leopard into the cage at the back of the jeep, they secured a cover over it for safety.
I bet you feel like you have the biggest, brassiest ones right now, don't you?
Did you see when I flew over the fence?
Thanks for saving my butt back there.
Well, it's definitely a butt worth saving.
Dakota shook her head humorously.
Thank you, my friends.
No worries. We hope you're able to get your home all fixed up.
Shigaru nodded in appreciation as Colin, Simon, and Dakota got into the jeep and drove away. Meanwhile, Gideon was driving with Maddie through the savannah.
It's a glamorous job, collecting poop.
It's what you make it, I guess.
Well, I'd rather deal with poop than an aggressive leopard.
A zebra ran out of the bush and kicked at the jeep.
Gideon, look out!
Gideon swerved quickly, hitting a sharp rock. The jeep rolled and was thrown into the air. It slammed down hard on its side, and then onto its roof, rolling across the ground 3 times before stopping upside down. It all went silent. Colin, Simon, and Dakota had returned to the facility with the leopard. Bill and Cass joined them. Simon pulled the sheet off the cage. The leopard was pacing, hissing, and growling.
Farmer wasn't kidding. She was a handful.
Yeah, she's really not happy, is she?
Do you think the heightened aggression and behaviour changes have something to do with it?
It's hard to tell at the moment. So far, it seems to be just the herbivores that have been affected. We'll need to do some tests.
She looked like you then, Cass.
Watch it. She's stuck in a cage. I'm not.
Touché. All right then, Colin. Give me a hand moving her into one of the enclosures.
I'll get on over to the clinic and test these blood samples.
Let me know what you find ASAP.
Gideon woke. He was still buckled into his seat, upside down. He looked around, realizing what had just happened to them.
Maddie! Maddie!
Maddie woke, looking around.
Oh my God.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Maddie unbuckled her seatbelt and fell, hitting the top of the jeep. She crawled out at the window, cutting herself on the glass, wincing in pain. She stood up, holding onto the jeep for support, looking at the trail of carnage behind them. She walked around to Gideon's side and pulled on the door. She prized it open. Gideon crawled out and stood up.
Oh gosh, that didn't go to plan.
Maddie looked around, dazed. Gideon reached into the back of the jeep. He picked up a first aid kit.
Here, let's get those cuts cleaned up.
He looked down at the radio. It was smashed to pieces on the floor.
There goes our help.
We'll have to walk back. If we leave now, we should be back before dark.
The rifle was broken too. We need to be careful and keep our eyes sharp.
Maddie nodded.
Let's go.
They walked away from the crash into the bush. The sun shone down on them, both dripping with sweat and struggling in the heat.
I don't know what to fear most, the lions or the mood-changing herbivores.
I know what I am most scared of. Cass, when I tell her I crashed one of our jeeps.
Maybe we are better off out here with the lions.
How has this experience been for you? Kruger Valley?
Well, when we sat in a university room, I didn't expect to be crashing jeeps with you in the bush.
One thing about this place, you cannot predict anything. It's going to be hard for us when you all go, you know? I'd imagine Dakota and Bill going back to Australia. Simon going back traveling. It'll just be me and Cass again.
It's been fun for all of us.
Hold on a minute.
Gideon noticed something down by some trees. Maddie followed as he ran over to them.
What is it?
Gideon knelt down next to the plant with white petals.
Bluetop, I thought we exterminated all of these. It's a poisonous plant. It releases a toxin in animals with the same hormone as hunger. For humans, it will give us a heart attack if ingested.
So this could be what's causing the behavioural problems?
If I had to bet money on it, I'd say so.
Well, at least one good thing came out of today.
We can get back and alert the rangers to destroy them. Shorten the population of blowtops, and in a few weeks, the behaviors go back to normal.
That's good to know.
Suddenly, Out of the bushes, a buffalo charged. Gideon pushed Maddie out of the way and was hit by the buffalo. He flew into the air and slammed down on the ground unconscious.
Gideon!
Maddie ran over to Gideon. He was bleeding from a nasty gash on the back of his head. The buffalo ran off.
Gideon! Gideon! Oh shit!
Gideon wouldn't wake up.
Help! Help!
Maddie's screams filled the valley, but they couldn't be heard by anyone. She knelt down and wiped away her tears, composing herself. She cleared her head.
Right, I'm gonna get us help.
Maddie looked around and took her shirt off. Sunburn from just wearing a vest was the least of her problems. She placed her shirt over Gideon, hoping this would keep him safe from the animals.
I'll be back, I promise. I'm sorry.
Maddie ran off into the bush. Simon and Cass were in the clinic.
Bloods are all fine, Cass. The plot thickens.
How strange. Something's just not right. Maybe the predators have been affected and we just haven't picked up on it.
Bill and Sam walked into the clinic.
Bill, Sam, with me.
Hello, Bill. Oh, hello, Sam. How are you both feeling after an exhausting day, huh?
Cass rolled her eyes.
Oh, Bill, well, you're looking especially handsome today, huh?
Don't push it. I want to try and get a blood sample from a predator if we can, and a stool sample.
Great, as if getting the rhinos weren't hard enough.
Come on then, let's not waste any time.
Oh, this is where the party's at, hey? Has anyone heard from Maddie and Gideon? They've been gone hours.
That's concerning.
Listen, the weather forecast is predicting a huge storm tonight. We need to get out there and back before then.
I'll have to fly over the valley, see if I can spot them. I'll take the boy.
We'll keep an eye out while we're out there.
Everyone walked outside. Cass, Bill, and Sam got into one jeep and drove away. Dakota approached Simon and Colin.
What's happening?
Maddie and Gideon are radio silent.
Could be something, could be nothing.
Sure. I'll take a jeep and head out.
Keep your radio on you.
Dakota nodded and ran over to a jeep. Hours had passed. Exhaustion and dehydration were beginning to take over. Maddie limped through the bush with the hot sun shining down on her, her body glowing red, burnt. She felt eyes on her, as if she was being watched. She turned back to see a large male lion staring at her.
No.
There was a large tree over the embankment. The lion was walking in Maddie's direction. Maddie had never felt so scared and alone. She began to climb it. She backed onto a branch over the embankment. The lion waited only meters away from the tree. Maddie looked around scared. There was nothing else she could do. Bill and Sam ran through the trees and shrubs in a hurry.
Did you see the direction it went in?
It headed out through that way.
Sam pointed as he ran. They sprinted towards the parked jeep. Cass was stood in the back.
Cass! Rogue lioness, did you see it?
Cass looked along the tree line. The lioness ran out and across the grassy plain.
There!
Let's go. We don't want to lose her.
Sam, you drive.
No chance. Cass has told me about your shooting.
Charming.
Bill got into the jeep. Sam climbed up on the back with Cass and they sped after the lioness. They could just barely see the lioness in their sights. It was hard to see as the vegetation camouflaged the lioness well. Cass banged on the top of the jeep.
Over there!
I see.
Bill sped after the racing lioness. A herd of zebra were gathered to the left of the truck, and a thicker cluster of bushes to the right. Cass aimed the rifle at the lioness. But there was a dip in the earth that Bill had no choice but to speed over, knocking Cass and Sam to the floor. They stood back up as the lioness darted into the thick bush to the right of them. Bill stopped the jeep harshly and climbed out, and Sam and Cass jumped down from the back.
Bloody hell, we've lost her.
Looks like we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Let's hope we don't get eaten.
We should really call a ranger for assistance.
Yeah, we probably should.
Cass and Sam nodded awkwardly. They both knew how impatient the other was. They caught eye contact, with the same look on their face, both knowing they were thinking the same thing.
But we're not going to, are we?
No.
Cass, Sam, Bill followed the tracks into the bushes, firmly grasping their rifles. They stepped carefully and quietly. All had become quiet. They started to drift in different directions, but remained within close eyesight of the others.
I'll climb up this tree and get a wider view of the area.
Bill began to climb the tree. Sam waited at the bottom. Cass was further away from the group. Bill looked onward into the surrounding area, with no view of the apex predator.
How's it looking up there?
No sign, I'm afraid.
Suddenly, from the bushes, the lioness growled. It shot out, biting onto Sam's lower leg. He screamed as it pulled him off into the bushes. Cass looked back in horror, watching the lion drag Sam away.
Sam!
Bill jumped from the tree, landing firmly on the ground, completing his landing with a forward roll. He stood up and ran after Sam and the lioness. Cass ran behind him. Sam kicked at the lion's face and screamed. He desperately tried to hold on to something to stop the lioness pulling him any further. With a hard kick on its nose, the lioness let go. Sam rolled onto his back, but before he could even begin to try and escape, it bit down on his leg again and dragged him away further. Bill and Cass sprinted after him. Sweat covered them. Sam kicked the lioness once more on the nose and he let go, jumping back a little. It growled. It looked as though it was about to pounce back onto Sam. A bullet flew into the ground next to the lion. Bill stood aiming his rifle. The lion roared. Cass fired another shot. This time the lion scarpered into the bushes. Bill lowered his gun and they ran over to Sam, who had sat himself against a small rock. His lower leg bled profusely through his trousers.
Oh, good heavens!
I'm all right. I'll live.
Cass slowly and gently rolled up his trouser leg. He was wincing at the pain. Bill took off his backpack and lifted out his medical pack.
I'll patch you up and get you to hospital.
Sam nodded as Bill bandaged his wound.
All right. Do you think you can stand?
I got it.
Cass assisted Sam to stand.
Okay?
Okay.
Meanwhile, Maddie was still in the tree. She watched the lion pace in the distance. It was facing the other way. She backed away from the branch. It snapped, and Maddie fell, hitting the ground hard, and rolled down the embankment, unable to see if the lion saw her or not. She struggled to her feet and began limping away. The sun was too hot, and Maddie could feel what little energy she had left drain from her body. She turned back, and the lion was in the distance, watching her. Her head began to spin. All she could see was a bright light as she collapsed onto her back. She saw a shadow approaching her.
Sam.
Maddie fell unconscious. Meanwhile, Simon and Colin were in the plane, flying over the bush.
Nothing this side.
I can't see anything either. They might have gone into town and not told us.
Something doesn't feel right.
I'll fly out a little further. If we can't see anything, then I'll head back.
They continued looking around, but there was no luck. Simon turned the plane around to fly back when Colin spotted something.
Wait, I think I saw something.
What was it?
I don't know, dude.
Simon turned the plane, and they flew over the crash site.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that doesn't look good. Call it in, boy.
Come in, Sam, Dakota. We think we found them. There's a wrecked truck in Grid Zone 9. Looks like a nasty accident.
Shit, really? What about Maddie and Gideon?
No sign of them. I'm going to put the plane down.
I'm heading out now.
Simon landed the plane. He and Colin walked to the crash site. Simon held a rifle. Colin looked inside the Jeep.
They aren't in there.
They crawled out. Blood, but not too much. They were okay. Let's hope they still are.
Radio's all smashed to bits.
2 sets of footprints. Come on, let's follow them.
Maddie began to wake up. Her vision was blurred, and the bright light made it difficult to see. She was very weak. She could make out a shadow above her as she adjusted to the light. She realized it was an elephant that stood over her. She looked around to see more elephants stand around her. Coming to her senses, she realized they were protecting her from the lion.
Come on, Maddie. You need to do this for Gideon.
Maddie struggled to her feet, using the elephant to help stable her balance. She struggled onward. She could hear a jeep. She limped as fast as she could out of the bushes and onto the track. Dakota slammed on the brakes as hard as she could, stopping just before hitting Maddie. Dakota flew out of the jeep.
Holy crap! Maddie!
Maddie collapsed just in time for Dakota to catch her.
It's okay, I've got you. You're safe now.
Lions?
Dakota looked around for danger.
Come on.
Dakota helped Maddie into the jeep and ran back around into the driver's seat.
Where's Gideon?
Still out there. We have to go back. He's hurt.
Dakota spoke on the radio.
Simon, I found Maddie. She's in a really bad way. She says Gideon is hurt and he's still out there.
Roger that. Get Maddie back to the facility.
Dakota made a U-turn. The lion jumped out of the bushes.
Crap!
Dakota floored the pedal and drove away with haste. Simon and Colin were tracking the footprints through the bush when they found him still under Maddie's shirt.
Is that him?
They ran over to Simon, pulled the shirt away. Gideon was still bleeding. Simon checked his pulse.
Gideon, can you hear me?
Is he?
Simon used the radio.
I've got Gideon. He's unconscious and irresponsive, dehydrated and bleeding from a head wound. I've got a weak pulse. I'll fly him back to the facility. We need an ambulance there waiting as soon as we get back.
Dakota was speeding back to the facility. Maddie had fallen unconscious again.
Maddie, don't you die on me. Shit.
Cass was on the landing strip as Simon landed the plane. An air ambulance had landed behind them. Colin led the paramedics over with a stretcher and they helped Gideon onto it.
Oh, Jesus.
He's in a bad way.
Bill's already at the hospital with Sam. He said he'll meet them there.
They ran with the stretcher back to the helicopter. Cass and Simon helped the paramedics. Cass, Simon, and Colin backed away and watched as the helicopter flew away. That evening, the winds picked up, and it started to rain. Maddie woke up in her bed in the guest house. Mama was sat next to her, humming a peaceful tune. She had a damp flannel over her head.
Where?
Don't worry, child. You are safe. You are back at Kruger Valley.
Maddie looked confused as she sat up. Mama handed her a glass of water.
Drink.
Maddie took a sip.
Mama Zakata, Gideon is still out there.
It's okay. They found him. He's in the hospital and he's going to be okay.
Maddie looked relieved. Colin stepped into her room.
You're awake!
Hey.
You and Gideon gave us a hell of a scare, Mad. What the hell happened out there?
Another day in Africa, right?
I'm glad you're okay. Sam also has had an accident. He's fine. He sends his love, and he's sorry he couldn't be here for you when you woke up.
What happened to him?
Lion. Munched on his foot, apparently. Dragged him through the bushes like a rag doll.
Jesus.
He's fine. No serious damage. Just a nasty scar.
Dakota peeked her head through the door.
You're up. Is she okay?
She'll be fine. You need to carry on drinking. She's a restless patient.
You scared the hell out of me. I'm glad I found you when I did.
Dakota, you saved my life. Thank you.
Don't worry about it.
I mean it. I owe you.
You don't owe me anything. I owed you. I wanted to apologise for the other night. I was a bitch to do what I did. I sabotaged your time with Sam out of jealousy. That was wrong, and I'm pretty embarrassed with myself. Really, Maddie, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Dakota. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're definitely no bitch.
Dakota smiled gratefully.
Makes a nice change, doing the rescuing for once.
Oh, you're right about one thing. Nearly being eaten isn't fun.
Welcome to Kruger Valley, right?
I'm going to go home before the storm starts. Maddie, rest. Colin and Dakota will take care of you now.
Bye, Mama Sakata. We'll let you get some sleep. Later, Maddie.
Thanks, guys.
Gideon awoke in the hospital bed. He looked a little confused as he looked around. Bill and Sam were with him.
You're in the hospital.
What?
A few cracked ribs and broken arm, gash to the head. Nothing much, huh?
A smile crossed Gideon's face at Bill's sarcasm.
Maddie said you took some flying lessons with a buffalo.
Is Maddie okay?
Maddie's okay. Dakota found her in time.
Blowtop, we found them in the bush.
Interesting. I'll let Cass know.
The aggressive leopard must have consumed something that had recently eaten it. That would explain its heightened aggression.
Well, I'm glad we have answers. The storm's really picking up. Looks like the three of us are stuck here for the night.
The storm clouds gathered above the savannah. Zebra barked in fright as they ran for the shelter of the incoming storm. The wind grew stronger, and between the graying clouds, lightning was seen shooting through the sky, followed by a distant grumble of thunder. Cass, Dakota, Colin, and Simon sat in the living room. Lightning struck, making them jump. Akiki, who was asleep, cuddling into Dakota, woke startled.
I hope Maddie's okay.
Sleeping like a baby last time I checked on her.
The thunder and lightning became constant and loud. Things outside were blowing about when suddenly there was a power cut.
Great.
That's not good.
We're going to need to get the power on as soon as possible.
The power generators need to be controlled manually. I'll go down and have a look.
Be careful out there.
I'll be fine.
I would say take a radio, but I think there's too much static.
Simon put his coat on and prepared to go out into the storm. He turned on his torch and opened the door. There was a loud crash of thunder. Akiki ran past them and outside into the darkness.
Akiki!
Dakota, wait!
He's not wild, Mum. He won't make it out there in the storm.
I'll look for him while I'm down there.
No, you concentrate on getting the power back on. We'll head out and look for Akiki.
All right, be careful.
See you soon.
Simon walked out of the house. Dakota rushed to put everything on and walked to the front door.
Dakota, will you wait?
I'm not waiting anymore. The longer we wait, the further he'll get.
Dakota walked outside.
Akiki!
Go after her. We'll split up and I'll take another direction.
All right, be careful. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, you too.
Colin ran off after her. Dakota and Colin looked for Akiki in the rough rain and wind.
Akiki! Where are you?
It's too dark. It could be anywhere.
I'm not giving up.
Dakota shone her torch around the facility in worry. She walked down onto the platform. At the other end, she saw the tail of a leopard walk into the plants.
Akiki! He's over there.
Colin heard and began walking over.
Akiki! Here, boy! What are you doing?
Dakota walked closer to Akiki. Confused, she looked down. Blood was floating in the raindrops on the floor. Meanwhile, Simon walked to the generators. He walked past the large animal pens, shining his torch.
Oh, boy.
Splintered pieces of wood lay in rubble where the wind catcher stood. He shone his torch into one of the pens, and the wind catcher had fallen onto the fence, tearing it down, enabling whatever was inside to climb out.
This doesn't look good. What the hell was in here?
Worry hit him. It was the highly aggressive leopard, and it had escaped. It was prowling nearby. He used his talkie.
Everyone, back to the house, now.
No one was able to hear due to the interference as Dakota walked closer to the plants. The leopard walked out of the bushes. She knew it wasn't a Kiki. It was the other leopard, and it had a dead monkey in its mouth.
What the?
The leopard dropped the monkey and walked intimidatingly toward Dakota. She backed away in fright as Colin ran over.
Oh, Jesus! That's not a Kiki, is it?
The leopard ran and Colin pushed Dakota out of the way, and the leopard jumped onto Colin, pinning him to the floor and biting down into his neck.
Colin, get off him!
The leopard lashed and scratched at Colin. The jeep sped over. A loud gunshot was heard and scared off the leopard, leaving Colin's limp body soaking wet and bleeding heavily. Simon was at the generators. He looked back after hearing the gunshot. Cass stood, pointing a gun in the air. She ran down to Colin.
Is he dead? Is he dead? Mum!
I don't know!
Cass knelt down next to Colin. It was a mess.
Jesus!
Simon ran onto the platform.
Shit. What happened to the boy? I thought I heard a gunshot.
It was that bloody leopard. Let's get him in the clinic and out of the rain. That thing's still around.
I got the generators up and running. We should have power back in 10 to 15 minutes.
Kiki!
I've got him. He's in the jeep. Come on, we need to help Colin.
Simon picked up Colin, and they headed for the clinic.
Oh crap, my keys. Even with the power back on, the key code won't work until we reset it. I'm gonna need the override keys.
Where are they?
In the house. I'll go back and get them.
No. I'll go.
Not a chance. Not with that leopard out there.
Colin needs you. And Simon. Get to the clinic. I'll grab the keys. His best chance is with you two.
Cass didn't want to put Dakota in danger, but there was little choice.
Take the jeep.
Cass handed Dakota the jeep keys.
And this.
Cass handed Dakota a rifle.
You know the safe combination?
Dakota nodded as she loaded the rifle.
Good luck.
And you. Don't let him die.
Dakota ran up to the jeep. She heard the leopard roar nearby. It was too dark to see. She slammed the door as the leopard jumped at the window.
Oh, shit!
A Kiki hissed in the back of the jeep.
A Kiki! Man, I'm glad to see you.
Dakota started the jeep as the leopard disappeared into the darkness. She drove up to the house and got out of the jeep, holding a Kiki by the skin on the back of his neck.
Come on, inside. Hurry!
They walked up to the house, and she shut the door behind them, taking a breath of relief. The lights came back on. Dakota looked with relief as she opened the safe door and grabbed the keys. Cass and Simon made it to the clinic. Colin bled out over Simon.
Come on, Dakota.
She'll do it. She's a strong girl.
Suddenly, the leopard jumped down in front of them. They backed away against the clinic door. Cass was in front of the rest, and the leopard focused on her. He was ready to pounce. It ran.
Gas!
Just as the leopard jumped, a loud gunshot cracked through the air. Cass flinched, putting her hands above her head. Looking forward, the leopard was on the floor, dead. They looked back, and Dakota stood aiming the rifle. Cass was shocked, impressed, but most of all grateful. She turned to Simon.
Get him inside.
Cass took the keys from Dakota and threw them to Simon. Cass approached Dakota, who was in shock herself. she was guilt-stricken.
Dakota.
Dakota looked at Cass.
What have I done?
You've done the right thing. Listen to me. You did the right thing. That leopard would have killed me if you hadn't acted as quickly as you did.
Cass put her hand on Dakota's shoulder.
I'm so proud of you.
Dakota nodded, looking over at the dead leopard.
Don't look at it.
Cass hugged Dakota.
Come on, let's go and save Colin.
Dakota nodded, and they burst into the clinic.
What are we looking at?
Good news is no arteries have been damaged. He's going to be okay.
Oh, good.
Simon pulled a tooth out from Colin's shoulder.
Oh my God.
Bloody hell.
The storm began to subside, and the rain got lighter. Blue lights filled the dark night as Colin was taken into the hospital. The following morning, Colin woke in his bed. Maddie and Sam were by his bedside.
Easy, Colin. Easy.
Am I dead?
Not this time, man. You joined the hospital gang, though.
We thought you'd appreciate the company.
What do you mean?
Sam pulled back the curtain. Gideon was in the hospital next to Colin.
Colin, look, we are neighbors.
Well, you better not hog the TV remote.
I was awake first. You snooze, you lose.
What happened last night?
I slept through the whole thing. Simon told me they had to put the leopard down.
Colin nodded in understanding.
And we found the source of the behaviour changes in the animals.
Oh, yeah?
Blue top.
You mean to tell me all this happened because of some bloody flowers?
Yeah.
Dude, I hate my life.
Cass walked into the hospital room.
Good morning, cripples.
He is more crippled than me.
Come on, get up. You're both coming home. I've had a word with the doctors and we can look after you at Kruger Valley.
Music to my ears. I hate hospitals.
You think you're going to get a chance to recover? I'm putting you straight back to work. And you with your chewed foot, Sam.
I knew it was too good to be true.
Later, they arrived back at Kruger Valley. Simon, Bill, and Cass helped Gideon and Colin out of the jeep. Aban joined them.
Welcome home.
Aban, my man.
Look at you. What a real bunch of misfits.
Maddie helped Sam stable with his crutches.
Okay?
I think I got it.
Dakota looked at Colin.
He walks.
Yeah, I hear you kicked that leopard's ass.
Never mess with a Roland.
Seems true enough. How you, Cass and Bill came away unscathed from the last 24 hours is a mystery.
It's a bloody miracle is what it is.
Hey, what about me?
Oh yeah, Bushman. I saw how worried you were that I was going to die.
Nah, I wasn't worried.
Oh, shut up. Yes, you were.
You were unconscious. You didn't know anything.
You were crying.
I wasn't crying. It was raining.
Yeah, you cried your little heart out.
I preferred it when you couldn't talk.
They all walked down to the platform and looked out at the animals. They laughed together. A blissful peace fell over Kruger Valley once more.